Introduce myself. Okay. Hi, I'm Courtney Campbell. I'm working with Crossroads to Freedom Summer Fellowship. This is Miss Earlice Taylor. She's a highly acclaimed singer, a native Memphian, and I'm also interviewing with a Anivia Madden, another fellow. Miss Taylor, can you tell us where you were born and where you call home in Memphis?
I was born in Somerville, Tennessee, which is 43 miles from here. Um, my mother ran off from my daddy when she got ready to have me, so I was up there 2 weeks after I was born. And then they brought me back to Memphis. And I lived in Klondike, um, uh, Lavon, which is right in North Memphis, close to Manassas High School.
Have you lived there all your life?
I lived there until I was 17 years old. I got married, and I moved to Walker Home, and I ran off and went to Chicago.
Mm. How long were you in Chicago?
14 years.
And why'd you come back?
It was time to come back. My kids were needed to get out of Chicago, and I moved back here. And they came. They were in the 9th grade, 11th grade, and kindergarten. And we've been here ever since, living. But I've been in and out all the time. But I live here. This is my home, port home.
Can you tell us about your childhood?
Yeah. I was raised up right in Klondike. I went to Klondike School. First, I went to Grant School, and we were only there in the first grade, and we moved to Klondike. But I went to Klondike, and then I went to Manassas. But as a kid, we went to church all the time. My dad was a minister, and the whole family sang. My mother was a contralto. My dad was baritone bass, and we've been singing from kids up. I was like 4 years old, singing on the radio on Reverend Brewster's broadcast at 4 o'clock. At 4 years old, there was three of us: Thelma, Shirley, and Earlice. I was a baby. And of course, you sang in church and Sunshine Band all the time. And I did not sing in the choir, but we had a youth group. So we, like choirs you have now in church, you have youth choir, junior choir. Well, we had a junior choir, but I didn't sing in that either. But I was always singing solos, And my sister was too. It was five of us. Well, my mother was married, had 3 kids by her first husband. They couldn't sing a lick. But my dad, all of his kids could sing. It was 5 of us: Thelma, Shirley, Earlice, Dan, and Eugene Taylor.
What church was that?
Keel Avenue Baptist Church in Klondike. That's North Memphis, right there on Bellevue, right off of Jackson.
Okay.
And then I attended Valentine Church when I could make my decisions on my own, because that was where all the young folks really had all the stuff going on. You see, Reverend Fields was with Martin Luther King. All of the well-known people came to his church. So that's where I wanted to go. And I didn't get to go there until I was married and gone. Of course, I married at 16.
Okay.
How would you say that music impacted your childhood?
Wow. Well, I've been around music all my life. My dad was a singer, my mother was a singer, and I just loved music from a kid, and all of my life. It's impacted my life to where I'm now. If I can get something wrong with me, if I can just get to a little music, I can make it through.
Because of how strict your parents were you only allowed to listen to gospel?
My father was a minister. He didn't allow you to go to movies, to the games, and none of those things. But we had a school teacher down the street from her, Miss Bass, Magnolia Bass. We could go with her. So she would always take us where we wanted to go and pick us up. So that was my outlet. And then just singing in school. I think school was a place for me to have an outlet because we were not allowed to do so many things that other kids possibly could do. We couldn't hang on the corners, and we could go down the street with Carol and walk her home. When we get halfway, she said, we're gonna walk you back. So we did that for about an hour, walking each other back and forth, but the houses was only about 8 houses down from each other. But music was it saved my soul, because I could use music for anything. No matter what, music is where I could just release my frustrations and all of that stuff into music, and I can enjoy myself equally as well.
And you went to a high school with a musical tradition.
Hmm?
You went to Manassas, and it was.
I went to Manassas. Of course, when I was in the 7th and 8th grade, I was a queen, the first queen for Manassas School. And I sang, I don't even remember the song, but when I got to Manassas in the 9th grade, of course, they found out I could sing. So I was in everything. The annual shows, when you have the things where you have, what do you call that, Nelson, when you come into the auditorium every day and when they call assemblies.